Hi. So I wanted to do a quick video about accepting advice from other people regarding relationships. And I did this because I'm revamping my modern mate selection and courtship class. And so there were some things that I've come across since I actually created the class that I wanted to share with everyone else. One thing I want to talk about is accepting advice from other people. One group of people you don't want to accept advice from is angry black men. Especially those with mother issues. They're gonna always slip up and call you the B, call you an H, okay, because they're just angry and mad. So you really want to be careful with that. Dealing with those kinds of dudes, man. They can be, these are like the Tommy Sotomayors and the Jason Blacks of the world. They are going to find something wrong that you did as a woman, okay? I have seen Jason Black call a woman all kind of names, and come to find out the woman was like, but I'm married. And he was like, oh, well, my bad. Like, what? Like, it's crazy. So you don't want to deal with that. The other group of people I want women to be careful of is your miserable married friends. Let that marinate for a moment. Yeah. Your miserable ass married friends. Now, because I thought that, oh, this person's married, so they, you know, they have the magic formula. That's what that was how I used to think about 5 years ago. I would get advice from my married friends, right? And a lot of them would give me advice, you know, of course, as a married woman, you know, but they would also tell me to do things that I wasn't comfortable doing, like staying in relationships with people that weren't good for me. But they were coming from a perspective like, you have to stick it out with your mate. You have to, you know, be tenacious, and you got to hang in there. And that's what it's fed to a lot of black women, that you're supposed to just deal with some bullshit. Well, I actually got to a point in a relationship where I ended it and I didn't care what anybody had told me, and it was so freeing. And it was sad because I had been being told by other people that I should just deal with it. Like, that's, you know, just deal with it. You know, y'all in a relationship. No. A lot of married women do this because they're married. You know what I'm saying? They have a legal document between them and another person. They have shared assets with somebody else. So be careful about that, because they will want you to be miserable with them, and you stay in your relationship and I stay in my relationship, and let's go meet for drinks and talk about how horrible our boyfriend and our husband is. Don't listen to them, please. I mean, some of my married friends have actually turned me off of being, I mean, overall, I'm still pro-marriage, but they have definitely turned me off of marriage, because I have seen them brag about being married, and then when I'm able to have a few drinks with them and we have a real conversation, they are extremely depressed and unhappy with their marriage because let's backtrack. So one thing that I've noticed about a lot of these people, specifically these women, because I'm not talking about people that are actually happy in their marriage, I'm talking about miserable married women. One thing that I've noticed about a lot of them, they usually don't want to tell you this in the beginning, but if you kind of start talking to them, you'll find that almost every single one of them, and I'm going through my Rolodex of people in my mind, there was a manipulation tactic done to get married. Okay, like I had a ex-friend who shared with me that you know, once her then boyfriend said that he would get married if this happened, she made sure that thing happened, okay? And then she retreated and retracted from him after that thing happened, and he was like, well, what do I need to do to make it right? And she was like, well, you got to get married to me, right? Or women will move out or freeze the man out, or it's a lot of different things, right? They do these different things, and some of these things are like advised in like top dating books that I know I've read for my purpose of creating the intention course and for my personal benefit. These things are sometimes encouraged. So I'm not saying these women are bad people. They were telling me the same thing, you know. But they do all these different things to get him to put a ring on it, right? And then what my theory is that they get married, right? And the dude realizes, you did all of that stuff to get a ring, huh? And then the man starts showing his behind. Okay, I've seen women do stuff like this, I'm telling you. And then they're like, my husband, you know, once I got married, my husband gave me like a laundry list of things I have to do. Wonder why he's being passive aggressive like that. What is he angry about, sis? What is he what is he so upset about? That, or the husband will retreat, or the husband will start picking fights, and different things like that. And when it comes out, the husband is just like, I'm just resentful. I was not trying to get married, and you kind of pushed me into it. You manipulated me into it, you know, because maybe this person was brought up a certain way, and you know, their belief is, well, when you do this with a woman, you got to marry her or whatever. So I've seen a lot of women do stuff like this, and then when they have these miserable marriages, they want to tell you all these different things that you have to do as a wife. It's not even true, because who knows who you're going to marry, right? And they paint marriage to be fucking hell. So then you're like, I don't know if I really want to do that. I got to do all that to keep a man? I'm like, what? So you just really want to be careful about the people that you get advice from, because I'm just saying, I've just seen a lot of women tell me to do stuff and their advice was not good. It came from a very desperate place, because a lot of them are very desperate to keep their marriages together because they don't want nobody to know. You don't want nobody to know. You on Facebook, you got the kids, the husband, you're happy. And then you're in a mom group on Facebook, a secret mom group, talking about how your husband anally rapes you at night. I've seen this with my own eyes. Do not telling you, y'all, if you still have a friend that's not happy with her marriage, I'm not talking about she was mad at him one time and was going off because he messed something up in the shed. I'm talking about somebody that's really unhappy with their marriage. Do not ask them for no damn no relationship advice, because that person, chances are they're not happy, obviously, with where they are. So they're going to give you some low vibrational advice and have you looking stupid. They're going to tell you, girl, just stay with him. Yeah, just stay with him. Yeah, just pay his child support for 1 month, girl, and he'll get it together. Our men need us. Girl, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere, do not listen to that stuff, yo. Seriously, these miserable women will have you out here looking a damn fool. The happy women, however, are great people to take advice from, because most of them take absolutely no shit from their husbands. And their husbands are greater men for it. So definitely just be careful about who you take advice from, because yeah, I've just seen a lot of that. And like I said, it is very interesting, because when people are bragging about their relationship, it's one thing. But when it's hitting the fan, there's all these different stories about compromise and yielding and submission. All these different things have to come into play when people ain't happy in their relationship. So yeah, I mean, you have to find an excuse somewhere, right? You know, to have to be able to maintain. So yeah, I just want my single sisters to be careful about that. Be careful about who you take advice from, because some of these people will tell you some of the worst advice you have ever envisioned in life, ever fathomed in life, and you'll be looking crazy as hell like them, because they're telling you to do crazy stuff. Like I said, I had a person tell me, or one thing that I was gonna share is that I had a person told me not to speak up about something that I was very upset about with a man that I was dating. And she had just gotten married, and she was just like, no, don't say anything, trust me, because that's how I got my ring. I didn't say anything. You know, whenever he would do X, Y, or Z, I wouldn't say anything, because you know, you just don't want to be, you just want to keep the peace. So she was saying all this stuff, and come to find out, y'all, in her marriage, y'all, her husband was treating her like shit. Like, he was completely running over her. Like, he was completely like just mulling her over, like just treating her like a child. and ordered her around and stuff. And what she eventually admitted is that she never spoke up. So once they got married, he went into fucking overdrive onto what you gonna do, and here's your list of stuff you need to be doing, wife. And he did the whole passive aggressive thing because she definitely manipulated him. They got married, and so then he started treating her and telling her what she could and couldn't, shouldn't be doing, borrowing money from her parents. It was all kind of crazy stuff that was going on. Of course, she did share, but this wasn't public, you know, that this was really going on in her relationship. But that's because she didn't communicate during the courtship process. And I think that's really the best thing that you can do in a relationship is communicate during the courtship process. You shouldn't be afraid to say something to your boyfriend because you think he's going to go ballistic. Well, just imagine what he's going to do when he's your husband. You think he's not going to go ballistic then? He might feel even more comfortable going ballistic. He might, you know, Chris Brown you. You don't know what is going to happen because you didn't say nothing for so long. And now you want to speak up, right? Or now you want to say something. Or this person may feel like you ain't never gonna say nothing, so they gonna just keep doing different things because she ain't gonna say nothing, you know. And so it was kind of a matter of, I'm gonna do anything I can to get the ring, and then you get married and you want to speak up, and now it's problems. So I really feel like if you have real serious issues, you should communicate that with your mate. Because what I have found is that talking to other people, first of all, they don't even really know your situation like that. You know what I mean? They don't really know it 100% in most cases. So it really behooves you to just talk to your mate and work it out. And if y'all can't work it out, that's between y'all. But doing what Sheila told you to do and then it backfiring, or, you know, whatever, is probably not the best mode of action. You really want to make sure that you're communicating with your mate, because other people will give you jacked up advice and it will put you where they are. And just because they're married don't mean they're not being treated like shit in their relationship. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And I want my sisters to be just more mindful of who they accept information from regarding love and advice, because if it's teaching you to bend over backwards, probably not a good flow. So yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip, and I hope you guys have a great Friday. Bye.